안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 2020 스마트 비즈니스 엑스포에 참여해 주신 여러분께 감사드립니다. 발표를 시작하기 전에 몇 가지 안내 말씀 먼저 드리겠습니다. 저는 이번 세션 사회자로 카이타에서 부회장을 맡고 있는 최현수입니다. 원활한 진행을 위해서 참가자 전원 음소거를 합니다. 발표 중에 질문이 있으신 분들은 채팅창을 통해서 한글 또는 영어로 사회자에게 질문해 주시면 종합해서 발표 후 질문 시간에 사회자가 발표자에게 대표로 질문을 하고 답하는 방식으로 진행합니다. 발표 내용은 전부 레코딩하고 이벤트 후에 공유될 예정입니다. 발표 중 여러분의 모습도 같이 레코딩 될 수 있고 공유될 수 있다는 말씀 먼저 드립니다. 발표되는 내용과 슬라이드는 달라스 한인 상공회의소와 한인 IT 연합회의 서면 동의 없이는 재사용하거나 공유하실 수 없습니다. 오늘 발표 내용이 필요하시거나 다른 분들과 공유하시기를 원하시는 분들은 달라스 한인 상공회의소나 한인 IT 연합회에 연락 주시기 바랍니다. 오늘 발표는 Enterprise Open Hybrid Cloud Strategy라는 내용으로 청킴 님께서 발표해 주시겠습니다. 발표는 영어로 진행됩니다. Welcome everyone. Thank you all for joining us today at 2020 Smart Business Expo. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you a few housekeeping items. The moderator for this session is Hyun-Soo Choi, who is the General Manager at Kaita. All participants will be muted throughout the session. Any questions you may have, please use chat window to moderator, either in English or Korean. The moderator will collect all questions and ask the speaker later in Q&A if time permits. This session will be recorded and shared later. During the session, some of you may be included and shared as part of the entire recording. All contents and slides cannot be used and or shared without GDK-ACC and Kaita. If you need any of the contents and or slides, please contact GDK-ACC and Kaita. Today's presentation is Enterprise Open Hybrid Cloud Strategy by Chung Kim in English. Speaker, you may present.
Thank you. Okay, let me see. Can you see my slide?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
And then you can hear me. Sounds like go. Oops. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to Enterprise Open Hybrid Cloud Strategy. My name is Chung Kim, the Chief Architect at Red Hat North America Commercial, Partner Solution Architecture. I have been with Red Hat for 2 years. Before Red Hat, I was with IBM for 22 years. Before talking about the Enterprise Open Hybrid Cloud Strategy, I'd like to make sure that the technologies, solutions, services, and examples that I will talk about today are based on my experience at Red Hat or IBM. Therefore, you will hear Red Hat a lot during my session. However, please understand that Red Hat is one of the solutions, but not the only solution. If you look at what we hear from our customers, we are hearing two things very clearly. The first is that they are looking for multi-cloud strategies. They realize that a lot of things impact their cloud decisions, whether those are the technology that they use or the vendor that they work with or the business need that they have, or even the regionality needs that they have. So we have seen over 84% of those people that we surveyed come back and say, we need to figure out a multi-cloud strategy. Will not be just a one technology vendor, will not be just a one cloud. The other huge piece of information to come out of this survey is that the only 1/3 of them have clearly defined what their hybrid cloud strategy is. So what this means is that there is a huge opportunity for Red Hat, and the partners to help customers shape what the hybrid cloud strategy should look like. They're still looking for guidance. They are looking for expertise. And we are in a great position to help them really shape what that hybrid cloud strategy look like. Bring this hybrid cloud number much more in line with that 84% multi-cloud strategy number that customers know that's what they want. To understand the shift we have seen in the market for last years, probably last couple of years. For a long time, we talked about open hybrid cloud. We talked about hybrid cloud. We talked about the multi-cloud. The conversation was really dominated by technology. What are the technologies that are going to help us make sure that applications are portable, that things could be secure, and that we could automate these technologies? And the technology pieces is still a big part of the conversation, but we have to understand this conversation is beginning to shift. The customers are becoming much more mature about understanding how to go about solving their problems, how to go about aligning their technology need to their business need. Enterprises are leveraging the hybrid cloud model to eliminate the business challenges that are difficult to address with the traditional IT infrastructure. Hybrid cloud is bridging the gap between IT and businesses by improving agility and the efficiency, as well as quickly delivering IT resources at a very low cost. It empowers enterprises to extend their applications and infrastructure required and offers users high-speed performance and availability. Hybrid cloud provides economies of scale while delivering security to sensitive information. When we align the needs of a business and the requirement of the applications, it demands that we can deliver hybrid IT architecture to our customers. If we think about what businesses look like today, they're all sort of struggling with this thing, where some of their businesses are still direct or physical. They still have a direct interaction with the customers. This could be a grocery store, car salesman. It could be a real bank branch. It could be a physical supply chains. Lots and lots of things that are still physical in nature. There are still things about going to a physical location that are important about the customer's interaction experience, about how the business collect information about in the marketplace and so on, right? So they still have to be able to deliver great experience in that direct and physical spaces. Obviously, more and more is becoming digital, whether that's a kiosk or a mobile application or some other digital-driven experience of the web front end of how they interact with the people. They have to deliver great experience through there. And finally, we are seeing more and more companies, depending on how they go to market, what their business model is, what their partner model is. They also have to work with the various marketplaces. This could be financial market. This could be reseller marketplace. And in many cases, the companies that we interact with in our daily basis. This could be through your mobile phone, right? This is really just exposing an API. And so companies want to be able to deliver omni-channel experience across all of this. They want to be able to deliver great customer experience across all of this. And so what we eventually seeing is what we used to talk about hybrid is a technology solution. But customers are coming to us more and more and saying, our business is hybrid. How do we make sure that we match the technology that we are buying, that we are implementing, and that we are consuming with our business, which is obviously hybrid in many, many cases. Finally, sorry, excuse me. I think I lost my slide here, landscape here. So finally, even as we talk about hybrid cloud, that landscape has changed as well. The decision is not just, oh, I have to pick the best cloud, or we are going to make a one decision for the company. And there is a couple of other really big aspects that have to be taken into the consideration that you need to understand as we're talking to your customers. The first one is, it is no longer just a pick private or public. We are seeing that even within an organization, there are lots of different groups who have demands, and then those demands are typically going to run across lots of different clouds. In some case, you may have a line of business like marketing, doing something for a certain cloud. And then you may have the data science group doing AI and ML stuff with a different cloud because of some technology advantage that cloud provides. You may see some regionality. Maybe it's in a certain part of the world who your partner with determines which cloud you have to work on. It may be a certain cloud is not available directly in your country, and you may have a law says that your data cannot leave the country. So regionality still comes into the play. And while we often talked a lot about IaaS, which is infrastructure as a services cloud, and PaaS, which is platform as a services cloud, or SaaS, software as a services, is a huge part of the cloud discussion as well. And so we have to be able to understand how our customers work with SaaS. How can we help them integrate their application of the SaaS? And so there is no single cloud discussion. There are multi-cloud discussions, and we have to be part of that. We have to help them get consistency across them as much as possible. We have to help them secure them as much as possible. And obviously, private cloud plays a big role in that as well. May not have been such a big deal a couple of years ago, but it is now a huge part of the conversation with a very, very growing number of our customers in different industries. What's their relationship with their technology vendor? When they work with the Red Hat, they know Red Hat is going to be independent. When they work with some of the cloud providers, that's not always the case. The cloud provider may be somewhat independent, but their parent company may be competitive with that customers, whether it's in banking or retail or grocery or automotive or finance, whatever it might be, right? We are seeing more and more that parent company of these cloud providers is in the number of business that the customers are as well. So that becomes something that they have to consider in terms of today and in the future, because while we may be neutral today, they may be competitive down the road. And then they have to understand, what does that mean for them? What does that mean when the next company that they acquire is in a different cloud that we pick today? All those things come into play. So as you can see, conversation around the hybrid cloud is no longer just about technology. Technology is still a huge part of it, but it's about how they go to market, who they partner with, where they are in the world. All of things are factors in determining what's the best way to deliver hybrid multi-cloud. If we look at Red Hat's vision, the vision has not really changed. We have always wanted to deliver open hybrid cloud solution. We have always known that in order to be able to do that, we have to deliver a complete set of technologies and a complete stack, as you see here. It starts at the top. It's about applications. Hybrid cloud is about making sure that we get the best applications, the best developer experience in the right place for the customers. And that might be about scale. It might be about security. It might be about developer productivity. And it might be about integrating existing or legacy applications with a new application. So we have to make sure we have a robust developer tooling, developer experience, application platforms. Obviously, you want to make sure that no matter which cloud a customer chooses, whether they are variants on private cloud or in one of the many public cloud options, we want to make sure that we can deliver great experience, consistent experience, secure experience across all of these cloud platforms. Obviously, as we get down into technology decisions, all of this is driven by our expert on Linux. Linux drives not only the open source development experience, but it's at the core of all the technology that we bring to the marketplace, whether they are containers or Kubernetes or automation for the things that we do with the developers. All of those are running on an open source technology, and they are all based on our Linux foundation and our experience working with the largest customer in the world, meaning of a secure their environment, and they're getting to a trusted point where they trust us to continue to bring them new technologies. And then finally, as cloud distributed around the world, we have to make sure that we can automate the technologies built to manage those systems no matter what they are, so that the entire stack from the infrastructure through the application being able to automate. So this is really our vision. It continues to expand and continues to become more robust, but our vision is not changing. As the market has become more and more intelligent about open hybrid cloud, they're really moving in our direction that we sent over last 10 years. We have had a vision of open hybrid cloud for nearly 10 years. This has never changed, and now we are delivering on it. We are the first ones in the industry with this vision and ability to execute on it. In this slide, I am showing Red Hat Open Hybrid. Sorry, I kind of keep touching wrong button. I am showing the Red Hat Open Hybrid Cloud portfolio as an example. However, please make sure that there are other companies in the market provide a similar portfolio like Red Hat does. If I break this down for a product perspective, some of you, if you are in IT industry, are very familiar with this diagram. You may say, wow, that's a really robust portfolio. It provides us a richness of technology across every cloud platform out there. It's based on the core foundation of enterprise Linux, which has a huge market share. It's trusted by every company in every industry around the world. We got management capabilities. We got application development capabilities. We got developer tooling around this. Really, really robust platform that allows us to go into any customer, talk to them about a huge breadth application. And not only that, we also can talk to them about the way we do innovation around our open source development model and enterprise go-to-market model, the way to deliver, support, the way to work with our ecosystem. So hybrid cloud portfolio enables us to have a robust conversation to customers. We give them a choice. We give them flexibility. We saw that huge number of customers who haven't yet decided what their hybrid cloud portfolios, what their hybrid cloud architecture is going to be. Red Hat delivers really the most differentiation and the most amount of choice customers can get in the marketplace. Our vision is to provide a foundation that gives the customers the ability to run their application in optimal locations across the hybrid cloud infrastructure environment like bare metal, virtual, private, or public cloud. Application platform that amplifies open source container automation platform like Kubernetes, or middleware to help accelerate the application development and delivery and integrate applications, data, and services. and the management and automation that improves the security and the portability of the processes. And our portfolio has been intentionally built and they work together as a portfolio across all environments. But if we really think about it, while portfolio is great, platforms are great, customers expect more from us. They expect us to be able to think outside of just the Red Hat portfolio. They want us to be able to help them with the entire life cycle from all of the innovation that's happening in the open source community. They want us to guide them which projects are the best, which projects are going to emerge as the new standard. How do we know which ones are going to emerge versus others that might fail? They want us to help them understand that innovation. They want to take advantage of all that innovation they love. The fact that we can take the innovation, bring it into our portfolio, productize it, support it, and have an entire life cycle around it. They say, hey, Red Hat, you are a huge piece of what we do, but we have a huge ecosystem of other technologies that we want to take advantage of. And so we need you to have programs in place. We need you to have the trust of an ecosystem that we work with across horizontal technology use cases and vertical industry use cases. So being able to bring together that portfolio with that ecosystem of partnership is incredibly important to customers. They expect that from us. Let's talk a little bit about how Red Hat works with the open source community. We may have started with just the one product, as you know, Linux, but now there are many. And there was once just a handful of open source projects. Today, you know how many we have? There are more than 1 million projects out there. But the process we use to take a community software and then make it ready for the enterprise is the same. We don't just do this for Linux. We do for OS, storage, middleware, OpenStack, containers, all the way up to the management and automation. We are involved in the hundreds of communities, helping to build and refine the many different technologies that makes up today's IT environment. We fold the advancements back into those source community to help foster the next wave of innovation. And our participation helps us to keep an eye on the most promising emerging technologies. When people ask, there are hundreds of ISV. ISV stand for independent software vendors. So can you give us a sense of how do you do this? Let me give us some, at a high level, there are lots of ways that Red Hat does this. But when we take that innovation, obviously we really want to drive a couple of different things. In some cases, we want to really help the shape with our customers and with our ISV partners. But the best way to make these things happen, and so you look at these things like we're doing with the operator hub to really define new standard operators. How being the operator technology to choose with the containers and Kubernetes to help bring our ISV ecosystems to market in sort of a service way. But it's essential that we have to define new standard. We work closely with our ISV ecosystem of partners, more than 100 out there today. And this is where we are actually going to see tangible code, things that customer can go get and say, I want a database as a services. I want a queuing as a services. I want robust security solutions. These are all things that are driven by the ISV ecosystem that we certify on top of the Red Hat. Another way to look at this, we may not have all the answers. In some cases, customer know. If things are new, so take something like AI and ML, still emerging space. Lots of ideas out there about how to best use it. And what they initially wanted, things like reference architectures. So projects like OpenDataHub.io bring together all of the AI, ML popular frameworks and the vendors of working in that space. ISV ecosystem partners, and we are putting out reference architectures, all the best practice about how can we use this with Red Hat? How can we go about enabling this to make a customer more successful? So really a combination of both in a code and distinct things that customer can get, like a reference architectures, best practice, and things that they can experiment with. And then finally, when customer says, I want all of that innovation, I want to work with distinct number of ISV ecosystem partners, and I want that to be fully certified, that we start to look at things like Red Hat Catalog, which is everything from hardware partnership, software partnership, or application partnerships. Entire life cycle from the open source innovation through the different programs, that we have to help bring those ecosystem partners together and then being able to deliver certified offerings. This is really unique in what it does. Nobody else in the industry bring that entire set of open source innovation, brings through the structured programs in a way that can be supported for customers in enterprise ways. We work with these partners every day to bring the best of modern technology to all of our customers. Red Hat partners play a key role in developing customer relationship, understanding customer needs. Red Hat understand how important strategic partnerships are to make our customers successful. Strategic partnerships are extremely valuable to a Red Hat customer's success. The other things that people ask for all the times, they say, this is great. You are delivering me great technologies, great architectures, working with the ecosystems. But what about my people in process? How do we make sure that in my hybrid cloud transformation and multi-cloud transformation that I have the right skills and the place for my people? The way that we go about helping them on people and process is the things like you see here. Red Hat is incredibly well known for training and certification, for that the people are working with the technology, are getting hands-on expertise, that they can get certified so that the market knows that they are aware of what they do. And then your boss actually knows you're expert of what you do. Our consulting services, modernization services, are there to lend a hand when they don't have skills on site. They don't necessarily want to invest those skills. They just want us to help them and want to help modernize their application. They want us to help them rethink their architectures. And new this year is the Global Transformation Office, bringing tons of expertise around Agile, around DevOps, around DevSecOps, around experience and transformations. Really the leaders in the thought leaders in that space are helping our customers understand what challenges out there and how to help them solve those things. And then finally, Red Hat Open Innovation Lab has got a track record now over 4 years of really helping customers get hands-on. What does it mean to be agile? What does it mean to do DevOps? How to set up infrastructure, cloud infrastructures that's ready to help application team. All the services, all of those capabilities are helping process. Our portfolio is not slow. It's not. We got customers on into different to do to drive their business. And these are just a few examples as you're seeing here. And due to time constraint, let me just tell you just the one story. HCA Healthcare, a large healthcare provider, the hospital provider in the United States, they have lots of challenges on a daily basis, trying to help patients be healthy, stay alive, on the things that any hospital will do, right? And then one of the things they decided that they really want to focus on was this challenge. They had that the flu, the common flu profile looks very much like something called sepsis. And the sepsis is blood infection. And unfortunately, the profile, what a doctor would look at between those two things look very, very similar. And so the challenge for HCA in this specific use case was how we make sure that when somebody comes in and has what looks like a flu may not be sepsis. Because if you move from the flu, which is something that regular flu, but we have an understanding of how to treat that, to something like a sepsis, which can hospitalize you, and unfortunately, in some cases, mean your end of life. They want to be able to make sure that they could take care of that. And so the challenge for them was being able to build some AI and ML models, some like a big data models. It would help them look at the profile of those to really understand the nuance of that. And in order to do that, they had to build this AI and ML models. They need to take advantage of the public cloud to do that, use the scalability of a computer storage resources to do that. Build these models as they were doing more testing, they could enhance those models. And then once they went to actually interact with their patients, they local for the doctors in the hospitals in self-contained environments. So they had a hybrid cloud need. They want to do the modeling in a public cloud. They wanted the treatment in a local, essentially in the hospital or private cloud. And they want to be able to deliver this in a way that the outcome were great for their clients. They wanted to make sure that those who had the flu get treated with the flu, and then those that had a sepsis could obviously get enhanced urgent care to make sure that they were kept safe. And the beauty of this hybrid cloud story is they don't talk about it in terms of a purely technology, but they talk about the number of lives that they saved. This can be a great hybrid cloud story. Take advantage of a public cloud and then deliver locally that serve to their patient and be able to blend those two things together. So wrap it up with this. I really hope you understand that we have a very, very robust portfolio. We have a great opportunity with our customers wanting us to help shape their hybrid cloud. I am experiencing, if we really look at it, whether customers are transforming what they're doing, whether they are looking at new emerging technologies, they are innovating, our portfolio allows you to have a unique conversation with that customer, no matter where they are starting, no matter whether they want to focus initially on the entire architecture of a hybrid cloud, whether they just want to focus on, hey, we need to automate something to be able to take some cost out of the system and be able to afford new stuff. Whether they want to say, hey, some groups are going to continue to do what they do, but we need this new group that does application development to have the latest and the greatest. We need to make sure that they're ready to go. We can start customers anywhere in their journey. The nice thing is, at some point, they all come together. Customers realize that they need to be able to have a secure infrastructure. They need to automate. They need to manage those environments. They need to have a great developer productivity. they need to have a platform that runs across multiple cloud environments. We are really the only company that can deliver that entire message of being cloud agnostic, being able to work on top of all the different cloud platforms, both on premises, private cloud, or public cloud, and be able to do that in a way that will always be open, will be always be driven by innovation, and it will be always be secure, and the customers can trust us. So with that, I want to thank you all for your time today, for listening to my open hybrid cloud stories. And then hopefully you understand the enterprise open hybrid cloud strategy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chung Kim. We'll take some questions. I don't have any particular questions from the audience today, but we do have a couple of questions that we pre-collected. So let me start with the question that you have talked about hybrid cloud, but hybrid cloud can be considered as the goal to be and stay on, or interim solution to be to move all to the public cloud?
So it depends on the customer's requirement. Let's say that if you are the company, so you don't have a existing, before I'm going to talk about, let me explain what is hybrid cloud first, then I can answer that question. So people talking about the hybrid cloud, multi-cloud. So there is many terms around. So the definition, my definition of a hybrid cloud is actually different types of cloud you manage by a single platform. So for example, IBM is a good example. IBM is an old legacy company. So they already have their data center and then their core application running on the data center, but they want to take some advantage of using the public cloud. So they actually push like a lift and shift, like one or few of their application and the hosted and the cloud, like AWS, for example. That means they have application running on the public cloud, like AWS. They also running on some application running on their data center we call on-premise. But as of now, AWS has their own management tool to managing their application, but they are not able to managing application running on the IBM's on-premise. Same as IBM has some management tools or like a DevOps process running their on-prem application, but they don't have that platform not going to be able to manage the application on the AWS, which is public cloud. So we need some kind of platform, like a single consolidated platform who can manage on-prem as well as public cloud together. So instead of going to one and one each, like two people working on different dashboard to manage those applications, they have a one consolidated dashboard or platform to manage it both sides. So that's kind of hybrid cloud solution. And then some people are talking about the multi-cloud. So multi-cloud is a little bit different definition. So it's more like a variance of the different types of clouds. So you can have a application running on the AWS. You can have application running on the Microsoft Azure or Google platform. So you have multiple locations, multiple cloud providers hosting your applications. Same kind of theory here, because each one has their own platform and then operation system, DevOps kind of a platform there. So it's kind of not easy to manage all different cloud. So we need kind of a consolidated platform to manage different types of cloud. So in that case, we need a multi-cloud platform to manage those kind of stuff. So nowadays, people kind of mixing and then or combine, say that hybrid multi-cloud. So that means a singular platform to manage any types of application in anywhere. So that's kind of our future goal or ultimate goal here. And then back to your question to Matt here. So what is good? Is I really need to go to public only versus like a hybrid kind of a platform situation? It depends on, let's go with the IBM example. IBM is like a legacy company who has a lot of on-prem application running on. And then depends on the application. Some application, like most of the cases, like handling this very sensitive data. I'll just give you an example, like a financial application, which has your information, users' profile information, including the social security number or some very sensitive data up there. By policy or compliance, probably they are not able to put those data outside of their data center. So those kind of data cannot be hosted in the public cloud. So in their cases, they store those data in the database in the IBM on-prem, which is data center. But they really still want to have a more scalable, and they want to take a cloud benefit. So they actually took out the user interface, which is a front end part hosted in the public cloud. In that cases, even the one application user can see database is running on the on-prem, and then the usability, the presentation running on the public cloud. So somehow you have to manage those. So in the cases, you definitely need a hybrid cloud approach to handle those applications. But that's for the more existing legacy companies, like a big company like IBM. But if you are in a new startup company and you don't have existing infrastructure or application on your data center yet, then you can actually start from the cloud. So you can actually start all the infrastructure on the public cloud, or maybe you can have a more secure public cloud. And it's many different definition, different like a cloud, which is like one tenant running on the public cloud instead of multiple tenants running on it. So you can have those kind of public cloud. You can build your infrastructure, set up a public cloud, and then you can just build your application. There's some gotcha, as I said. Maybe some data by policy or by compliance, they might not allow you to put those data out there. But again, so it depends on what kind of data you're dealing with. But most of a small company, they are solely hosted and running their application on the public cloud. So again, it's a case by case. But from my understanding and then all the marketing research, still majority of the US companies must have some of them on the on-premise, and then they really want to go to the public or private cloud. But still, there is something need to be run on-prem. So no matter what, they need the way to dealing those the on-prem and then public cloud and private cloud together. That's why the hybrid cloud strategy is very important, and then it came up nowadays.
Right, thank you. Thank you for clarifying hybrid cloud versus multi-cloud and a private and then a public cloud. That definitely helps to understand.
I think there's one question. Yeah.
Since we have a hard stop at 4:45, I unfortunately we may have to wrap up at this time. If any audience that may have more questions, you could contact us at contact@kaita.org later on, so we can definitely take that question to Chung Kim and get the answers to you. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up at this point. So thanks all to joining us today. 오늘 참여해주신 여러분과 발표해주신 청킴 님께 감사드립니다. 앞에서 말씀드린 대로 이 세션은 레코딩되어 다양한 방법으로 나눌 예정입니다. 오늘 세션을 다시 보고 싶으시거나 못 보신 세션이 있으시면 레코딩 세션으로 확인해 보실 수 있습니다. 오늘 멋진 2020 스마트 비즈니스 엑스포를 준비해 주신 달라스 한인상공회의소와 세미나에 도움을 주신 카이타 여러분께 감사드리며, 달라스 한인상공회의소와 카이타에 대해서 더 알고 싶고 궁금하신 점이 있으시면 달라스 한인상공회의소 웹사이트와 카카오톡, 페이스북, 링크드인, 인스타그램, 유튜브 등등의 다양한 SNS 채널과 카이타 웹사이트 또는 contact@kaita.org로 연락 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 또한 kaita.org 웹사이트에 등록하시면 카이타의 활동을 뉴스레터로 받아보실 수 있습니다. 다른 세션에도 많은 참여 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다. Thank you all for attending this session, and thank you, Chung Kim, to present this session. Today's session has been recorded and will be shared via various ways. If you want to watch today's session again or sessions that you have missed, please check for recorded sessions later. Special thanks to Greater Dallas Korean American Chamber of Commerce and Kaita staff to prepare this wonderful 2020 Smart Business Expo in these hard times. Please visit koreanchamber.org for more information about GDK-ACC, and please join Kaita through KakaoTalk, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, or email us at contact@kaita.org for any other questions. Thank you all again for participating today's session, and please join us for other sessions. Thank you all.
Thank you.
감사합니다.